Like I said, first card, 30 or better. Yeah, I'm 192 pounds. Yep. 192 pounds, 43 years young. Oh man, that first one felt pretty good. What's up, Chops? Carter, welcome to the chat. Christian, what's up? Jesse and community, Kevin Bass, double tap that screen. I'm gonna turn this light off. Sounds kind of weird. Another 30. Boy, that's a good pump. Where do I get the cards from, Joe? You get the cards from my sucker free store. That's where I have my merch. This is my sucker free card holder. All right, see how it says sucker free on there? Pretty awesome. Another 30. Snazzy Puddle says top shelf junk food. Oh man, they have it. It's out there. It's out there. I used to be a Doritos man myself. I used to be a Cool Range Doritos. Yeah, here we go. Oh, man. Boy, that's tough. Hey, Christian, thanks for the support. I'll see you on the next one. Fort Nick, what's up, man? That was a good angle on your dip session you had earlier. Dig it. Hey, Sensi, what's up? Martin, Mills, War. Is the sound still off or did it correct itself? Here we go. We got another set to do. Slide delt exercise without weights. Well, I think the minimum thing you should get is a resistance band. They're very versatile. Hey, Alex, bought my deck of cards today. Heck yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate the support. All right, good deal. Let's get to it. Another set. Thanks, Alex. That's awesome. Boris in the chat. What's up, man? Here we go. Another card. Another 30 on deck. Hey, Martin. What's up, guys? P8 says, my strength gains mainly come from doing those overcoming isometric band pulls. Very versatile, 100. Yeah, bands are great, especially if you're on the fly. There we go. What's up, Nathan? How's it going? Got to get an idea of how much these rest periods are costing me. That way I can get an average of what it takes to maintain. Right? I have to get an average of what rest I need. Here, I'll just try to, I'll switch the mics around. We'll see if it's better the other way. We'll try that. How's that? That was 56 seconds. So a minute rest. And we'll try it again. Yes, good, good. John says no different. Oh, well, that's what you get then. Dang, that was a tough one. That was the fourth set of 30. That was a little tough. Time on duration, right? A rest period. Keep an eye on that. Jeremy says, what are those cards? Well, I have my sucker-free card holders, right? This is what we do to count the cards, right? Put them down. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 sets in thus far of 30 reps per set. Another card, another set. We're watching a rest period. So we have about a minute rest period. And I'm even going to time how long the duration takes me to complete the 30 reps. That last one was pretty tough. There we go. That was better. That was better one. Better set. 45-second duration on that one, too. We'll time our durations, keep an eye on our rest period. So far, minute rest seems to do pretty well. Yeah, these are just 55 pounds. They feel heavier. The horse wants me to do flies. Honestly, it's taken me a lot to do what we're doing here. 30 reps a set feels like a lot. It's doable and can be improved upon. Sure. Okay, that's our rest period. Well, it's happened to me at that 30th rep. Now, in prison, I found that if you do anything 50 reps per set times 20 sets to get your 1,000 reps in, your body doesn't have a choice but to grow, right? It's something magical about the 50 reps per set and achieving that 1,000 reps in a workout. Yeah, there's something magical about that number. I'm in the process of getting there though. Right? Today we're doing 30 reps a set. We'll progressively get better at it. Michael says your body has no choice but to adapt to that many reps. Yeah, and that's the truth. Your body goes through a point of being totally stressed out, like wrenched out, right? There's not a drop of energy or nothing left in you. And then the adaptation happens. You get used to it. And it's not so hard anymore. And then before you know it, it's like a walk in the park. I love that whole cycle. That whole cycle is where it's at. We're doing 30 reps today, but give it a couple months, we'll be doing 50. See how long it takes us to do. The last set took us 45 seconds. That's with me grabbing the weight. That was a little better time wise, a little better time wise. Still time our rest period. Keep an eye on that. Build those fast twitch muscles with those shorty reps is key. Row mo. Adds to the discussion. Yes, I agree. That's what everybody was doing in the prison system, those little shorties, the rep range of motions, quarter rep, half rep. Keep the tension on the muscle group. What's your fastest mile time? I haven't run a mile in a long time. I got into the prison system and I couldn't walk for a year and a half. I haven't run since then. And that was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Did you have any weights in prison? Sometimes, right? Sometimes, because the gymnasium is a tool for the prison system to control the masses, right? But let's say we're closing the gym for 6 months because we found some contraband or whatever. You guys are misbehaving, right? So it'll just be closed for like 6 months out of the year. And then it'll be like open for 2 weeks and then closed down again. You can never rely on it for a workout. Yeah, rely on calisthenics for your workout. And then whenever the gym was open, it was a fun thing to do. Right. But it was never something you could count. Boris says we made them out of Coca-Cola bottles and some duct tape. Weights? Yeah. Another card, another 30. $38 seconds. 38 seconds. It's what it was when I looked down at it. Still time on a rest period anyways. The English says, good to see you too, Zach. Hey, welcome to the chat, Dingus. John, I'm butchering your name, I'm sorry, says, I never felt chest when I do push-ups, except when I do push-ups on a counter. Can you help? Well, I suggest the quarter rep or the half rep range of motion. Stay away from the full range of motion, right? You're doing too much. You know, if you just stay down here and focus on squeezing your chest while you're doing it, you'll feel it. Now, honestly, that's just a basic method. But for real, if you apply rotational torque, right, that's like either grabbing a bar, like a push-up bar, pretending that you're like squeezing your chest together and then go through it that way as you're squeezing, trying to bend the bar in half. And when I mean like a bar, you know, talking about like a push-up bar like this, right? Pretend like you're squeezing it and trying to bend it in half, right? As you're doing your push-ups, right? You're applying that rotational torque as you're doing the push-ups, right? Now, you can achieve this with the yoga mat as well, right? Place your hands like sort of inward, like you're doing a diamond, right? But out to your shoulder. You put it down and then you grab that yoga mat and you turn your hands inward, right? Flexing your chest at the same time, right? And now that the chest is nice and flexed as you grab that yoga mat, turned it, you got that rotational torque happening. So all this muscles our structure when you're applying that torque. And then you get down into your push-ups and you just stay within the half rep or the quarter rep range of motion. Stay away from the full range of motion, right? Just stay flexed and rep it out. You'll feel your chest 100%, right? That's about, that's a little bit more advanced, but I mean, if you just go down and give me 20 shorties, you'll feel it too, right? But that's the ultimate, applying that rotational torque to the rep range. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. So it's kind of like, squats, when they say apply rotational torque with your squatting position, it's the same thing. We're just doing it with our push-ups. Yeah. Anyways, we'll time our next set. 30 on deck. It says, I've been putting my hands back more towards my lower ribs. It's difficult, a different workout. Yeah, it's very similar to a planche, right? You could work the same muscles as you were working a planche, right? Palms up, you're working more of your biceps, keep it like towards your hips, right? It's too much weight for me at this moment, but it's like what 10 of them at least. Yeah, it's definitely harder. Now that I said that, and you said that, you could do the same with your push-ups, right? Biceps and planche position when the bars by your hips, right? And if when I'm doing a lot of push-ups, like 1,001 set or whatever, um, I'll tiptoe forward and I'll tiptoe back just the slightest, right? Because when I tiptoe back or forward, I'm actually putting the tension on a different part of my pectoral. If I tiptoe back or if I tiptoe forward, right? I'm hitting the pecs a little bit different. So that's how I get through doing like 1,000 reps in a time. I'm slightly adjusting the intensity where it's getting hit on my pectoral. You know what I mean? Where is Lori? Lori is tending to the new family member. We have a bunny. Yeah, today's for the big day, getting the bunny all set. Yeah, it loves it. Hanging out in the yard, having a great time. The bunny. kind of, I kind of can relate to bunnies, right? With just animals in cages. I'm like, I was in a cage too. I know what you're talking about, right? I could relate a little bit. So I'm a big sap when it comes to animals. You know, what costume will I wear? I don't know. I was thinking of painting my back like a Ninja Turtle show. And I could be a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I like that idea. I do. Let's do 30 more. The Joker. Yeah, the Joker would be cool too. Halloween costumes cost a lot. I think I look like a Ninja Turtle already. You know, I just need some paint. Paints, pizza, and nunchucks, right? Can't beat it. Lori, did she join the chat? She must have felt everybody, talking about her. You know how that happens? You ever drive down the road and see somebody walking in the distance? There's no way they could hear you or know you're driving up behind them, but they look around, right? There's something about it, I think we're all like in tune with each other more than we realize. Not that I'm chasing anybody down in cars looking at them. I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about, right? If they're off in the distance, they'll turn around and look you right in the eyes, like you guys are connected. I feel like I'm digging myself a grave at this point. You know what I mean? I just can't make it better. Next, let's do 30 on deck. Oh man, man, let's go bodybuilding channel to the moon. Heck yeah, guys. Gotta get my brother over here so we can do back to back stuff, right? I go, you go, I go, you go, right? Thanks, man. I'm working on it, right? I feel like we're getting a little change. Where is Justin? Justin is throwing knives across the entire yard length of the house, hitting the bullseye one after another. Right? He's got moving logs hanging from ropes, swinging back and forth. Something you see out of like Indiana Jones. And he's throwing his knives and sticking them. He's amazing. Amazing. Justin, my brother is a ninja, for real. A ninja, for real. And as soon as I said that, Cutter says, man's an American Ninja Warrior. You know what? They called him one time, asking him if he would come on the show. True story. True story. They called him up and they're like, Justin, you're on a call with American Ninja Warrior right now from live from California. What do you think about that? And he's like, I'm excited. You know, he wasn't as excited. He didn't sound as excited as they wanted him to be. Right? Justin just doesn't have that kind of like kind of personality, you know? That's what they were hoping for. He's just like, yeah, I could do that. He would have did it too, and it would have been awesome. Yep. Does Justin have a YouTube? Heck yeah, that's my brother, Justin Hawley. Right, check him out. Dude is amazing. Lori says, why didn't he? He didn't have the TV personality, right? They wanted him to be all sorts of excited and enthusiastic about it. He's just like, yeah, I can do that. You know? Yeah, buddy. Check him out. I got links to his homepage page from mine. Yeah. All right, let's hit up another set. You know, he's been a stuntman in all sorts of little B-rated movies. You know, dude is a ninja. Yeah, buddy. Another 30 on deck. What are your personal goals? What are you working on? What do you want to work on? I just like to work out. I like to pick things up, put them back down. All right. I guess in a nutshell, I just want to be as strong as possible and as big as I can get. You know, what does anybody want? Right? I just every time I look in the mirror, I see a small dude. I see a small dude who could be working out harder, right? Who's slacking, who could be eating more, right? And working out more, right? That's what I see every time I look in the mirror. You know, I want to be bigger. I want to be stronger. Yeah. I want to be better than I was yesterday. You know, that guy that I was yesterday didn't put in enough work, right? Boris, as my eyes are closing, I'm tired as hell. I trained sick today. Listen to your body. I like to train while I'm sick, but I know if I'm constantly taxing my nervous system over and over again for my workout, that I need to chillax, right? Catch up and come back stronger. P8 said, Boris is the Hulk. Heck yeah, it is. A sick Boris is probably still a very, very top-notch individual. Let's do another 30 on deck. I know at my sickest, I'm still pretty good. Boris, have a good night. Thanks for the channel support. Pacer, Garcia. Yeah. We just gotta be better than that dude who we were yesterday, right? We're always in that mentality, man. I tell you what, man, my mentality is pretty far out, man. I feel like what I believe in pretty much could be a sci-fi movie in itself. Ace, 10 on deck. I mean, we're doing 30 on deck. Yeah. Sure. Really. Boys, 30 reps set, feel doable. I can totally see us achieving 50 reps set in the next coming months. Yeah, that's going to be the goal with this. Carter says, am I leaving? I don't think he is. Everybody's just being polite. Bro has to be on TRT. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate the compliment. No, there'd be no question if I was. The way that I work out, you would see something serious. Yeah. If you guys are not familiar with vitamin D, zinc, and magnesium, you guys are behind the curve. You need to get hit. Jason said, I just found you on TikTok. Dude, I don't even maintain that channel anymore. It's just like there. Cutter, what's up? It's like free merch, Scotty. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you guys don't know, yeah, vitamin D, zinc, and magnesium. That's the baseline that need to be taken, in my opinion, because that combination is the best testosterone boosting baseline. I also take boron on top of that. That is also another testosterone booster, right? Look it up. On top of that, I'm taking creatine and MSM for my joint health. Now that's everything. Now, if you're an older gentleman and your joints are messed up, I highly recommend the MSM and the creatine. Um, I thought I was just getting old, and my body was aching and paining from just being a 43-year-old, you know, tough dude. Aches and pains. Man, I got hit by a car. Uh, I'm a rough and tumble guy, so I got aches and pains stacked up on top of aches and pains. Um, but as soon as I started taking that creatine and the MSM, it all went away. And I train 2 times a day now. I'm a maniac with my workout. I thought I was just getting old. I just wasn't taking the right supplements. Yep, fantastic. I can't recommend this stuff enough because, like, honestly, I thought I was just. That's what happens when you get old. Your body falls apart. But I was just missing out on simple items. Yeah, MSM. So MSM, if you look it up, it's going to say for joint health, joint support. Yeah, just look it up for yourself. Walking barefoot says I never got hit by a car. I don't recommend it either. Um, but my Sunday school teacher smacked me with the Bible when I was 6. Dang. Well, sorry about that. Yeah, you're gonna find some not so great, not so friendly people, in every industry, right? Some people are just miserable, and that's just their job. Because like me being in the prison system, I met good people and I met bad people, working the same kind of job, right? It doesn't matter where you're at, in my opinion. PH says I got hit by a car and bounced off the floor twice. I don't mean to laugh. It wasn't bad. Yeah. Yeah. The car was in the red. I'm getting hit by a car. Let's do another 30. Tell you what, being hit by the car, you know, has put me on the road to like anti-inflammatory, like grounding, fasting. You know, I've learned some pretty cool things about getting rid of inflammation and pain. Like if you guys aren't familiar with turmeric and ginger, that's another one you need to get hit to. For real. Another 30 and Epsom salt baths. When's the last time you guys got Epsom salt baths? You know, Garcia says grounding and fasting are key anti-inflammations. Yeah. So like I've worked out so much where I gain a certain point of inflammation in my body come every Friday because I put the volume in, right? But then Saturday and Sunday I fast, kicking out all the inflammation, and I'm ready to go again come Monday to hit it hard as possible. Um, Now that I know the tricks of fasting and inflammation, I use it for, to push my workouts a little extra. But I haven't fasted in like a month because I'm on a bulk at the moment. Thing is, I was doing tree work a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing just this kind of work. I pulled myself up with the rope and sliced my thumb so bad. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that. experience, you know, true work can be very enjoyable. It can be, but it's very dangerous. And honestly, when I was climbing on the old uh, Blake Stitch, right? That's like a caveman way to do it, but that's how I learned. I eventually got into, the mechanical crucibles and, or even just straight up crucible, it's like a night and day difference. But I definitely suggest, learning on the original methods. The blade, the blade. 13 cards and 30 reps per card. What is that? 330? Is that what it comes out to be? Even my nightmares. Yeah, we're all on that same level together, aren't we? Right? Snake does it all. Sent 100 for 2 joules. Thanks, man. Appreciate the 2 joules. Is that what we ended up on? 330 reps? Let's do the math again. 13 cards and 30 reps per set. All right. So the first 10 is 300, right? And that left gives us 369, right? So 390, that's where we're at, right? Yeah. I love Sublime, man. I could totally listen to some Sublime right now, but you know what? We'd be it'd be copyright and we all screwing ourselves. You know what? That's a good number. I like it. 390. I'm gonna call that good. Yep. I'm gonna call that good. Took us took us 1 hour to do it. So I don't think that doing anything more. Yes, I guess it could. I guess it could. Right? Because the goal was to do 1,000. Doing 1,000 would be a totally different. That's the goal. That's where we need to get though. So I'll catch you guys in the morning, right? We'll work out again, but over on my calisthenics channel, right? If you're not familiar, I separate everything. You know, we do the weighted workouts over here with my theories and we put them to the test. Then we do the calisthenics over there on my original channel.